everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Roy Canning.
And we both love Summoner Wars.
Yes.
So today we're taking a look at the two new factions. We have the Sand Goblins, who are actually, they were in Summoner Wars 1.
Yes.
So they're back. And then the Obsidian Dwarves, who they were originally in the Pit of Hell. And now,
Fire!
And now they're back. So I'll show you what's in each deck, and we'll be right back. Let's start out by taking a look at the Obsidian Dwarves. All right, so here we have the leader, Balzar. And anytime he attacks somebody, he doesn't have a great attack, but if he doesn't roll any of the lightning bolt symbols, he adds 2 boost. Otherwise, he loses a boost. So at the beginning of the game, in most of his attacks, you're likely to get 2 boost on him. And if you're lucky after that, you'll get more. And then he's +1 strength for each boost he has, up to a maximum of 5. So he's going to start at 2, but probably on turn 2, he'll be a 4. Although after that attack, he might go down to a 3. So he's going to kind of fluctuate. Now, this is kind of handy because he has champions that fluctuate with him. So this person, anytime you add boost to your summoner, you add the same number of boosts to this person, and this person can spend 3 boost to do an extra attack with your summoner, which can be pretty powerful in the right spot, although it means you're going to be running your summoner up close. This guy is even stronger, who's just +1 strength and +1 life for every boost they have, and again, they get the boost when the summoner gets the boost. Then the Hellforge, which is a non-moving champion. There's not many of them around. And you can add a damage to take an event card from your discard pile and play it under a viable unit within 3 space. So this lets you play your events more. So let's take a look. We'll take a look real quickly at the common units and then at these events because they're kind of neat. So we got some Embers. We have Ember Guard. So the Ember Guard can spend a boost from their summoner or add a damage to their summoner to put this unit adjacent to your summoner. So they're really fast, and you can spend that boost or add a damage to shoot them up. The Ember Demon can go up next to a friendly Ember unit, so you can see kind of the combo that can happen there. And when you summon them, you either have to spend a boost from your summoner or add 1 damage to your summoner. So this army is going to be messing with the boosts on the summoner a lot. Here, then we got Oathsworn. When they attack someone, add boost to your summoner equal to the number of the lightning rolled, which can be really convenient. Again, all about combos. When this one attacks, the lightning bolt adds a damage to each card adjacent to this unit other than the target of the attack. Kind of like that's what it's called, a wild swing. Speaking of that, here's the events. So we got equipment. We always like equipment type things. This gives someone +2 strength, but causes a damage every turn. Since units in this game die so fast, not such a big deal. Hellforge Chains, which are even cooler than that, because they give you a +2 attack even in melee. So up to 2 array, and you can also attack diagonally. But again, they do 1 damage. I don't think I would put them on the same character. Volcanic Blast. So this one is definitely built for this summoner. It is why it's the epic event here. You spend 4 boosts from your summoner, and you do that much damage to each card within 2 space of your summoner. So you can do some massive, powerful damage. Combine that with Willpower, where you boost your summoner, and now all your units can re-roll their dice on that turn. So this is all about, honestly, this faction revolves around the summoner almost more than any other faction in the game. Now we're taking a look at the Sand Goblins. Here we have, the Sand Goblins are all about structures. In fact, their summoner is a structure. Is that the first one? There's not many of them anyway. So there's a structure that can move, and when he moves, he can carry adjacent units next to him, which is pretty good. So he can move. He has a 3 ranged attack. Now, like I said, this was all about structures, and you have a lot of cards that will upgrade structures. So you have a mortar upgrade, which lets you target things that are 2-way to do damage to them. A thruster upgrade. These are all added to structures, which lets you force the card an extra spot. A turret upgrade. This one's my favorite, which lets you attack somebody else and you hit them with lightning bolts, but it's just like an extra shot. And then detonate lets you blow up one of your structures, but you don't discard it. It just goes back into your hand. So if something's about to die, you can blow it up and put it out again. So I mentioned structures. 2 of the common units in this set are structures. We have the Bug Biter, which is one of the weakest units in the game, but it can fly. It goes in extra space and through units, and after it moves, you add 1 damage to it and 1 damage to an adjacent card. So it can fly through someone, drop a damage on them, then hit them, And you might even be able to do more of that if you use one of those upgrades I just showed you. A little bit, and it's free, so there's that. A little bit more powerful are the Rust Rider structures. They can move also. And when they move, you can discard the top card of your draw pile. And if you do this, you can move this in extra space, and it gives it an extra strength. Well, I'm not sure I want to discard my really cool stuff by accident, but the Sand Scavenger, if he kills somebody, you can take a structure from your discard pile, reveal it, and put it on top of your draw pile. So that will help you get some of your cards back, especially since one of your champions, this one here, is also a structure. And he can discard the top card of your draw pile to take an upgrade card or a wrench unit from your discard pile, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Wrench units, here's another wrench rat. During your turn, you can place this under an adjacent card. When that card's destroyed, add 1 damage to each card that was adjacent to it. So you give this one up to blow up everything next to it. The last 2 champions in this set, we have Silts, who can, during a move and attack phase, they can exchange place with an adjacent unit, so they're kind of sneaky and slide around. And then Clink, when they blow someone up, they remove 1 damage from each friendly structure within 3 spaces of this unit. So that's what this one's about. It's about getting structures up and running them around the board. Now, I found that both of these factions are definitely run up in your opponent's face type
Yeah, they're
factions.
both really fast.
The Obsidian Dwarves, I've never seen a faction, I think, revolve so much around the summoner. Everything is on that summoner.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they've tried to do a lot with second edition is make the summoners more involved from the get-go. And I think they did a great job with this one just because he really doesn't do a whole lot if he's not attacking.
Right, if you leave them in the back and just protect them, then they're trash. 2 of the champions directly require him to do that. Some of the common units require him to be getting those tokens and things like that.
I think that's going to lead to a faster game in general because either A, you're going to be pushing really hard, or B, you're going to get wrecked as your own summoner is going to get wrecked and the game's going to be over quickly. But it makes it different and exciting, I think.
When Roy was playing the Dwarves, I really thought I had him on the ropes.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was bringing his summoner up, I was beating him up, and I was like, got him. Then Roy's like, boom, I blow up and kill your guy.
Combos.
So that's an interesting one, but I think it's a certain kind of player who will play it. I find it okay. I'm not necessarily a big fan of units that are
Hurt
constantly
themselves.
taking damage.
Yeah.
Except, and so I want to be careful, I love the little flying dude in this one.
Oh, yeah, that they can go a little bit further and then crash land into somebody.
Yes, definitely suicide bomber type guy, and he can move really fast. But I like him, but he's not the whole army. This army is, I don't want to say they're my favorite in the game because I would have to, someday I will rank all our factions. But I really like these. I love putting a turret on a bike. There's just something cool about that.
It's cool they have those cool different upgrades. Some of them help with movement. Some of them help with dealing a little bit of extra combat damage here and there, so you can kind of upgrade the units as they go along. And a lot of times you have to get rid of and throw a bunch of stuff in the discard pile, but then you're pulling it back out, which just helps with the theme of they're scrappers. They're pulling stuff out of the garbage, And then the Obsidian Dwarves just have that whole hellfire, we're burning with rage, but we're hurting ourselves as we're doing it. So they burn fast, but they could burn out,
Yeah, so the Sand Goblin, you can protect your boss a little more. I think he's not necessarily running in the battle, but you can put turrets on him. He's a structure, and when he moves, he can move people with him. So this is the one I like better. I don't know what about you.
Honestly, I think I like the Obsidian Dwarves a little bit better, mostly just because they're a little bit more straightforward, and I do like using life as a resource in the game, and I just really like the gigantic strengths you can get on those guys. Sometimes you're put an axe on them, plus they have extra things from all these boost tokens, and you're rolling a pile of dice, and that's kind of fun.
And the chains, though, are one of my favorite upgrades ever.
Oh, the fact that you can do close range, at range.
Oh, that's so awesome. I've always been a big fan of in-game spears.
Oh, yeah.
Because they let you do a little bit range. You can hit diagonally. That's really cool. So, yeah, these are really good. They're continuing. These both feel very different than the previous factions. So, I'm giving the Obsidian Dwarves, I'm giving them a 7. I like them. They're fine, but they're not my favorite. But the Sand Goblins are getting a 10. I really like them.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
I'm going to be a little bit more in the middle. I'm giving the Obsidian Dwarves a 9.5 because I love using life as a resource, and I love how bright they burn. And then the Sand Goblins, I'm giving a 9. So I'm a little bit flip-flopped on that, but not quite as low as you are on the
7 is not low! Okay. All right, anyway. Well, there you go.
Both these are great.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to putting these in, messing with the other factions too. That's the 2 new factions for Summoner Wars. I'm Tom Vassal.
I'm Roy Kennedy.
And we're flying at Kamikaze Sand Goblin.
Rolling dice.